So it looks like WB might be in trouble in terms of their gaming division, WB Games. And I want to talk about it, but you guys know where this is going. We about to talk about an acquisition or possibility of buying some IPs at the very least. But before we get on to the video, definitely hit that like button if you guys enjoy the video. You can always subscribe to the channel for weekly content. And don't forget to go there on Twitter and follow me at Lord Addict IOP. Without any further ado, let's talk about whether or not Microsoft should buy WB Games. What's going on, you guys? Gaming out of here, coming at you for another video. I'm sure a lot of you have been up to date what's going on with WB and WB Games in general. WB is merging with another company, and it doesn't look like that merger is so focused on the game side of their company, but more of the TV side of their company with the movies and the DC properties. So the biggest question that a lot of gamers such as myself had to ask is WB Games going to get sold off to other companies? Now, currently, right now, it looks like the new company is going to get some of the properties and the old company is going to get some of the properties. But to me, I would not be surprised if WB is talking to anyone they can talk to sell these properties and sell these studios. Now, we cannot forget that probably a year ago, WB Games was being approached by a lot of companies. It was some absurd number like $2.5 billion, or it might have been $4.5 billion. I don't know. I actually got a video that I made at the time talking about the rumors that was going around that Microsoft was talking to them about buying the company and my opinions on it. And I believe at that time my opinions was, yes, they need to buy that company because of companies like NetherRealm, companies like Rocksteady. To this day, I feel like Microsoft needs their own superhero video game. It can't continue on like it is that Sony has Spider-Man, they're releasing new Spider-Mans every couple years, and Microsoft has no type of superhero game to really entice and compete with Spider-Man. And I also believe that Microsoft probably wants to bring back Killer Instinct, but they don't really have that studio that they could give that brand to and they continue on with that franchise. Now, my opinion pretty much would be the same today, if not the elephant in the room. The big giant acquisition that Microsoft did by buying Bethesda Softwares with ZeniMax, and they acquired all of their studios. Now, I do personally feel like Microsoft could benefit from buying WB Games. It's like I said earlier, we need a Killer Instinct game. I myself might not be a huge fan of Killer Instinct, but I know because of the kind of relationship that Sony has with Capcom that there's a great chance that they might get the next Street Fighter exclusive. So my opinion is I don't necessarily think that Microsoft no longer needs WB Games. Now, if they can get them for a reasonable deal that is acceptable for Microsoft and WB Games, then sure, pick them up. One of the biggest concerns I have with all these acquisitions is expanding too much and not having the proper management in place to supervise the studios that they currently have. So I don't know necessarily what it would do if they doubled up to that. Keep in mind, Matt Booty's already supervising 15 studios. So taking in WB Games, I'm pretty sure they have a publishing department, but with this weird thing going on with WB and WB Games, I don't know if Microsoft could even buy that publishing department. So I'm gonna be real with you guys. It's like I said, I don't think they need WB Games. I feel like Microsoft should focus on the studios that they currently have, all the Bethesda ones and all the Xbox Game Studio ones. And once they have that concrete down where they know exactly what's going on, they know the type of content they can make with Bethesda, with the new studios that they built and bought a few years ago, after they really get that taken care of, get a couple games out from those studios, or maybe just one, because a couple would be a few years, then you could go out and look into stuff like WB. But there is a huge thing that's going on in the industry right now where maybe if they don't pick up WB Games, someone like Tencent comes through there and picks it up. Maybe even Sony would really dig into that piggy bank and pick up WB Games, and then they could take not only Street Fighter off the Xbox, they might even be able to take Mortal Kombat off the Xbox. So it might not necessarily be about what do they need and if they need WB Games. It might be about more of the things is we got to be competitive. We got to make sure that these studios are around to come on our platform. Do I think Sony's gonna go out and buy WB Games? Absolutely not. But when you run these type of $1 trillion companies and you run Xbox and you run PlayStation and you run Nintendo, sometimes a gut feeling is not enough. Maybe Microsoft would look at something like WB Games and is like, sure, do we really need them? No, not necessarily, but we could use them. And I think WB Games does make the Mortal Kombat games. I don't know if they would get the Mortal Kombat license. I've been told by multiple people they would, but if they did get them, throw out a Killer Instinct versus Mortal Kombat, or Mortal Kombat versus Killer Instinct. And then after a couple years, throw out a Killer Instinct game solely, and then throw out a Mortal Kombat game. And you know, that would be a very good thing to keep people in Game Pass. You continuously update this roster, and I think a lot of people would get down on that. When it comes to Rocksteady, I'm sure you can get the Spawn license, or maybe the Captain America license, or you know what I would like? A Black Panther game. So hopefully, if WB is up for sale behind closed doors and Microsoft doesn't want to buy the entire company as a whole, they can at least get NetherRealm Studios and Rocksteady, because I feel like those two studios particularly Microsoft does need. They don't need the whole company, they need those two studios. Because to be honest with you guys, I like a lot of the games WB has. I love the Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War, but to me personally, I would prefer them to lean towards something like Sega, or maybe even Konami. Probably not Konami, but I know a lot of people love the brand and the IPs that Konami has. Then go after something like WB Games, because when they bought Bethesda, they got a lot of games that appeal to a Western market, and I feel like the best way for Microsoft to really do well in this industry is to start building out their portfolio to multiple different types of audiences, and not just necessarily the Western audience. But that's just me. But you know, tell me what you guys think. I'm curious to find out what you would want them to get. You know, you could put in the comment section below if you'd want what publishing studio, within reason. I mean, you could put whatever you want down there, but I don't really necessarily think something like Take-Two or EA is even in the realm of possibility. I myself would like them to get Sega, but that's just me. But tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. Are you guys excited if they do buy Warner Brothers? Like I said, this is nothing about this is confirmed. It's not even really a public knowledge if they're being up for sale or not. But this is pretty much just a speculation video, whether or not Microsoft should buy WB Game. But like I said, put it in the comment section below. I'm curious to hear you guys' response. This is Gaming Addict. Until next time, peace.